Right, just a quick one. Wanted to say thanks to all the people subscribing, interacting, commenting. I didn't really plan on making any videos just yet. I was only going to throw some clips up to showcase, you know, the capabilities of the PrintNC. When I was building mine, I found it really useful seeing the videos either on YouTube or Discord, just to get an idea of the capabilities really. I've had way more views and comments and whatnot than I thought, so I thought going forward I'll try to give a bit more information, feeds and speeds, answer general questions on the machine. I will give a walk around of the machine at some point, but in the meantime, if you've got any questions, either drop them in the comments, or I'd highly recommend, if you're interested in building one of these, join the Discord. It's really active, everyone's great. There's all the information you could possibly need on there. But at the moment, I've had a couple of, I wouldn't say issues with the machine. When I'm surfacing, the tool marks can get a little bit skew with at times. It's more an aesthetic thing. They don't really affect the part at all. You can't feel them. It's just one of those things. It annoys me, so I'm gonna try to dial it out. The first thing I've noticed, I'm not sure if it was a parameter I set wrong when I first built the machine, but the plate for the X ball nut, when I slacken it off, it wants to sit as far as it can to the front. Now inside here there's a lip, and it's hard up against the roller. So what I'm going to do for now is make a new set of plates with all the clearance they need in there. Shouldn't affect anything. I'd rather do it this way for now rather than trying to pull the roller forward and mess up my tram, because I cannot be bothered. Basically, on the extremes of travel, you can hear it change pitch as it gets up here, and it's, you know, trying to pull over as much as it can. So I think that is probably the best port of call for now. So what I'm going to do is jump into Fusion and do probably a speed run of designing some new ones, just off the old sort of part geometry. Do a quick rundown on that. Load up some stock. I've got some 10mm plate somewhere, an offcut, probably from when I'd done the last ones. So we'll get that on there, get them cut and see if it helps. That's all that set up. We'll start off with a facing operation. That is the BAP. Now I usually run that somewhere around 18,000 and 1,000 millimeters a minute, and that works pretty well. Let's go for a step over of 6, climb, and that's that done. Now the adaptive to rough everything out. That is going to be the 1/4" single flute. Now I'll run that at 20,000 RPM and about 2,500 millimeters a minute. Now on the boundary, you want to go to selection and that rectangle. You'll see what that does in a minute. Now I'll keep this fairly conservative because it's just taped down. So 2.5mm optimal load and 2.5mm step down. I'll do a stock to leave of 0.3 and then give that 0.1 axial. Not that it matters, but I don't want to break through to the bottom. Smoothing on. Now you should see that rectangle's done. So that's good to me. Yep. Right, so that's that all roughed out. What I'll do next, I'm not going to do anything fancy like a free flute wall finish or anything. So I'm just going to contour with the single flute. And there on there, and then there, and there. Just check. Now on the bottom there you can see that's inside, so that would be a disaster. That's where we want it. Now I left 0.3, so if I do a 0.1 step over, do 3 of those with a final of, let's say, 0.06. I know the math doesn't add up, but it will basically take the 0.06, that will be the last one, whatever's left it will divide down into those, with that being the maximum. So smoothing on. Yeah, all that's good. Now I want to do a bore operation on all these. Now they will be done with the 1/8 inch DLC. Cutting feed rate, I'll probably knock that down to 800 because these things are fragile as hell. Quite like running those as fast as possible. And geometry, same diameter, like that. Now bottom, whole bottom, now 2-degree angle, not too aggressive. Now dimensions on these don't matter as long as the bolts go through, so I'm not going to do any repeat passes or anything fancy. That's that. Now a chamfer, this will be with the 6mm chamfer bit. Now, not going for any sort of fancy finish, so I'll probably knock that up a bit. 20,000, that's usually where I run it. Right, so we want that and that, and these two. Now a 0.4, a 1mm tip offset, so it's not cutting at the very tip. You can go more, but I found that's fine. Smoothing on, okay. Right, so that is everything done. We've got the facing, the adaptive, got that contour just to clean the sides up a little bit, the bore and the chamfer. So I'll post-process that, set the machine up, get ready to go. Now, here is the stock. I can't remember what this was from, but it was probably about 6 or 7 months ago. Now, what I find interesting is there's no oxidation at all. This is something I think me and Brian were talking about on the Discord the other day. Now, this is 6082, which by the specs is a lot more corrosion resistant than 6061. Now, as you can see, something that was faced 6 or 7 months ago and has just been battered about the workshop, that is still pretty damn good. Interesting. I might try digging out a bit of 6061, facing it and leaving it about for a few months. Anyway. Pretty pleased with how they come out. Didn't really do a fancy wall finish with free flute, just done the single flute. Not aiming for fancy, but everything seems to be on dimension. So hopefully I'll throw those on now. See if it fixes anything. So, takeaways from this. I mean, generally speaking, from 99% of the angles you'd view this from, it's just a mirror. There's still some artifacts. Let's see. Up here. This one I've never been able to get rid of. It's at the same point on the travel. For these new plates, I'd see that in a lot more areas. I think this one here is due to the rails not being aligned properly. I'm going to need to go through and do that again, but for now, I mean, let's get a close-up. I mean, it's splitting hairs at this point. I'm not sure how much better I can really expect. I mean, that is pretty damn good. I've had it better before, but I make one change and it throws it out somewhere else. I think the next port of call is going to be aligning the X rails. Hopefully that will see a good bit of change. But I mean, it's a lot better than it was. Let's see how close we can get. And obviously it looks wavy on camera, but you can't feel any of that. It's dead smooth. And it's only certain angles you can really pick up on it to the eye. That is pretty much just a mirror to me. So I'll call that good for now. I mean, I'm trying to get it in different lights. Difficult, it's so shiny, it's trying to focus in all different areas. But I don't think I can really ask for much more for now. So we'll leave it there. And when I come to realign everything, I'll probably make a video on that. Might help some people. But for now, again, thanks for all the subs, all the interaction. I'm going to go away and see if I can tweak this some more.